Hello, my name is Dave Watson, and I've put together this video series to give a brief introduction to Reiki to anyone who might have heard of the subject but not really know too much about it or what we can do with it. Now, I've been a Reiki master for almost 12 years, and I've been teaching Reiki through my distance learning program for the last 5 years. I've also put together a free 7-part MP3 introduction to Reiki, which goes into a little bit more depth and is available from my Reiki website, which is called reikizero.com. I've been running the site for a while, and there is loads of Reiki information there, Reiki music, courses, and all sorts of Reiki stuff. Okay, so Reiki is essentially a system of healing, a system of spiritual healing, which was originated by Dr. Mikao Usui in Japan towards the end of the 19th century. Now, Dr. Usui was a spiritual man who spent most of his life studying and practicing various Eastern spiritual philosophies and doctrines. And he wanted to make a path to greater spiritual awareness and freedom that could be easily learned and walked by those who would follow him. And in his quest to do this, he discovered that through the use of the system he had developed, he could also heal both himself and others. And from that time, he went on to develop a method of teaching this ability to others, and he called the system Reiki. Now, before we go any further, it's worth spending a little time to look at the word Reiki and understand what it actually means. The word is made up from two Japanese words, Rei and Ki, and the Reiki symbol is a representation of those two words. A popular Western definition of the word Reiki is universal life force energy. But to better understand what the word means and also what the subject is about, we can look more closely at the root definitions of each of these words. If we look into the actual meaning behind the word Rei, we can deepen our understanding of the common definition of universal spirit. Rei can be further defined as the divine, the supernatural, a supernatural being or spirit, the spiritual nature, inconceivable spiritual ability, the soul, as something pure, goodness or godness. These are all further definitions and uses of the word Rei. And we can see that in all of its definitions, it is describing the unlimited nature of the spirit or soul. So we can see that when we are working with Reiki or using Reiki, we are essentially engaged in a spiritual activity. This is at the very root of the word. And the word Rei can be simply stated as spirit or soul or indeed life itself. As an aside, I think that the practice of Reiki assumes and takes for granted that we see ourselves as spiritual beings, as life. So when we say Rei, we are not talking about something which is outside of ourselves or separate from ourselves. It is in fact the very essence of ourselves. Now, Ki is a much more worldly word and has been defined as mind or influence, a spiritedness, intent, the effect or result of energy being expended, vital energy. So we can look at Ki as energy or life force. An important point would be that Rei, as defined here, is not energy. We can see that energy is not mentioned anywhere in the many definitions of Rei. By definition, it is the unlimited, the infinite spirit, and that, of course, is way beyond energy. But Ki is the manifestation of that infinite spirit in the physical world, and we see that and perceive that as energy. Ki is life which has been channeled into the physical and thus visible and thus definable as energy. But beyond that, we have life itself, the creator of energy, and that is Rei. So when we say Reiki, we are saying life channeled into the physical. And in that we can understand what we are doing when we work with Reiki or give a Reiki treatment to ourselves or another. We are channeling life. A wise man once said that the only therapeutic agent we have is the unleashed human spirit. And that is what Reiki is, and that is what Reiki does. A Reiki treatment is bringing more of the spiritual aspect of ourselves into our physical form. And as that spirit or life is so channeled, healing can occur. The only difference between a living human being and a dead human being is life, or Rei. So it could follow that the more life we can imbue a human being with, the more alive he would be. And that is essentially what we are doing when we use Reiki. Okay, we are almost out of time for this video. I will talk more about how we use Reiki and the Reiki symbols in the next video. And remember, if you would like to know more about Reiki, you can always visit reikizero.com for loads of great Reiki information. Okay, thank you very much.